Hi, my name is Lionel Marone. I'm a rising senior at Carnegie Mellon University. I was born on November 20th, 1988 in Naples, Florida. My parents, Pierre and Clementine Marone, were from Haiti when they came to the United States in the 1980s in order to provide me and my brothers and sisters with a better life. I have three older sisters and one younger brother. I come from a very large, traditional Haitian family. Growing up, I had very limited experiences abroad. The only places that I had been before attending Carnegie Mellon were the Bahamas and Haiti. I went to Haiti right before I came here as a student. And of course, seeing the poverty in that nation inspired me to appreciate everything that I did have here in the States. Although I didn't have much compared to a lot of my classmates at Carnegie Mellon, I appreciated the fact that I was receiving a world-class education. And when I say world class, I really mean world class. I talked with the greats from all over, particularly places like India, Singapore, Malaysia, of course from South Africa, places like Venezuela and Cameroon, to name a few. So many of my friends speak more than one language. Of course, I do as well. I am fluent in this language which I'm speaking. I think you might guess what it is. I'm also fluent in Haitian Creole. I am professionally proficient in French and Spanish, and right now I'm actually learning Chinese. And it's a funny story. The reason I'm learning Chinese is because when I was a sophomore at Carnegie Mellon, I lived on campus and I would always cook. The summer before that, I learned how to cook from my Haitian sister, born and raised in Haiti. Her name's Eve. She taught me how to make all of the very traditional dishes that people here in Pittsburgh rarely ever get to try. I made them as best as I could. I imitated her style, and every now and then I'd call her up and ask her for different recipes, and of course I'd verify with my grandmother and my mom. And in the process of cooking a lot on the floor that I lived, I met a Singaporean boy. His name's Ising. I'll never forget. He and I have become great friends, actually. And when he told me he was from Singapore, at first I didn't know what that was. I just knew that it was somewhere in Asia. Um, we became friends. We shared meals. His meals, of course, were always very culturally specific, and so were mine. But we learn from one another through our mutual exchange, our barter, if you will. And he decided to ask if he could visit me in Florida one winter break, and I'd never had anyone ask me that. And all I said was, okay, sure. He also asked if one of his friends from Singapore, who was studying at Stanford University, could spend a few weeks down in Florida with me. Of course, they both paid for their plane tickets and I paid for mine, and I went home and met up with them in the airport, and I learned so much that break. First of all, the cultures collided. I was able to show both Singaporean students the state of Florida, to which they'd never been before. I went to stereotypical places like Disney World, Universal Studios, to South Beach, and of course to the Everglades. And I showed them the beach in Naples and the sunset, the pier, places where I sort of went as a child but never really thought that people from somewhere else would really appreciate them. But they did. I also learned a lot about the way that Singapore is while we were driving. Uh, the road signs were to stop or to do certain things, uh, but there was still some ambiguity. According to Ising and Edwin, was the name of the other student, in Singapore the government tells you what to do instead of allowing you to sort of figure it out. It's a very top-down command culture, something that I'm not used to as somebody who's born and raised in Florida. My only experiences with traveling had been to the Caribbean, where there's even less structure. So learning all about structure wasn't just in the driving up and down the coast, but also in the days that we spent during winter break. Um, Everything was sort of planned for both students from the time they woke up to the time they went to bed. And they really motivated me to rise up early and to do a lot of the tasks that we had planned. There was so much structure that I was at first a little irritated at their sense of urgency and their need for me to complete things quickly and swiftly. But at the same time, I was appreciative of the fact that they were so determined to see everything that they could while they were there with me. And it was something that motivated me, made me want to try planning my day from beginning to end. Not only did they get to see all these things with me, and we experienced them together as friends, but they were also very diligent about applying to internships for the summer, and they started in the winter. So, of course, they were a step ahead of so many students who wait until the last minute. As a rising senior, I realized that my tendency for procrastination has definitely been influenced by my own environment. However, as so many would say, it's never too late to be what you might have been. And of course, I am so interested in leaving the States and learning from another culture, learning from a group of people who are so different from what I've experienced as a Floridian, as a Haitian American student here. Of course, I've only heard stories from my peers who are from other countries about the beauty of travel and all you can learn from it. I know that I can learn a great deal because I'm still young and I'm still excited about making a mark on the world and, of course, having certain marks imprinted on my own life. I believe that it's never too late to learn from another person, regardless of gender, race, nationality, ethnicity, or country. So one of the things that I've always noted in my family as well is that my last name is actually Italian. It is an anomaly amongst my own people whenever I tell them that I have that last name because they don't recognize it as Haitian. And I'd always been considered sort of odd, particularly when I brought home two Asian students for winter break. So many of my friends were wondering why I didn't just travel alone, but it was a learning opportunity, and whenever I have those, I try to take them as they come. And that's what I'm doing now, applying to this program and hoping to see places like Florence, Rome, Milan, Sicily, and other parts of Italy, and of course Europe. So much of the fashion, architecture, and even legislation has been influenced by things like the Italian Renaissance and other periods in Roman history. So, as an aspiring world changer, policymaker, legislator, it'd be nice to visit a country that's had an indelible mark on the place that I call home, the States. So, please go study abroad scholarship. Grant me this opportunity to leave and to learn and to grow.